Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Do I Look Sick with Sickle Cell Awareness 365. This is Mia, and look who I have back.
I'm so glad to be back.
So I know we probably just went over how we're going to start this, but I do want the people to be caught up on how you are doing because they've missed you and I've missed you. So,
Ooh, okay.
I know you wasn't ready, but
So, I'm doing well. It's been a long 2 months. Like, probably the longest 2 months I've ever had in my life. In the hospital. Basically, I went in for something that I thought was gonna have me out in like 4 days. Just a little heart surgery.
a little,
Just a little.
just a little heart surgery. Okay, not major.
And I don't know. I guess all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. My body just was shutting down. My kidneys were failing.
It's just a mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad to have you back. You guys know with sickle cell, it can be so unpredictable and we go through things all the time. There may be times where I'm not available, but Jennifer is on here. So I wanted you guys to see that she was doing well and that she's back now.
Fine.
So today we're talking about everybody's outside now and we're still in a pandemic. COVID didn't really go anywhere at all, but everything is wide open. And it's so many mixed messages and just conflict on how people are treating themselves or how people are navigating this whole thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's been crazy for me, especially having been in the hospital for 2 months, is coming out and seeing that we're still having like the same conversations that we were having before.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't feel like anything has changed. If anything, I feel like it's gotten worse with us not being on lockdown and everybody is out. Nobody, even when we had mask mandates and social distancing, not there were a lot of people that were just not adhering to that, and there were businesses that were not implementing it, even though there was a sign on the door you could still go in and it's empty sanitizer, there's no hand wipes to wipe the carts or whatever. Like, people have just been really,
Like, we're not in a pandemic. Like,
yeah,
things have just gone back to status quo, everyday business as usual.
we're not going back to normal. At least I don't believe we're going back to normal. I think we'll get to a place of stability with it. But the normal that we knew in 2019 doesn't really exist anymore. So,
And I think that probably makes me the most sad.
I know it. I think this thing will be around, like we get flu vaccines every year and pneumonia vaccines often. I think it would be something like that. Let me also say that we are only giving our opinions. Neither one of us are doctors, so
Right.
we
Don't try to
can
sue us or anything like that.
say it again.
I said, don't try to sue us or anything.
Right. Please don't. I don't have a doctorate degree, not yet at least. And even still, it won't be a doctorate in medicine. But some of the things that we say are just our opinions and feelings about it. So always consult with your doctor to get professional advice and just listen to your spirit and yourself on how to do it. Because sometimes these doctors can be a bit confusing too. So give us a call and let us know how you're feeling, where you are in this crazy state that we're in. 470-251-4647. That's 470-251-4647.
And then we had a couple comments.
We did have a few comments, and I really would like to know if you guys would call in and ask. So the FDA approved the Pfizer vaccine. I want to know if it makes you guys more comfortable with getting the vaccine if you haven't received it already. Does it put you a little bit more at ease? Because I, for one, I got the Pfizer vaccine, but I was super hesitant. I didn't really want to get the vaccine at all, but I did get it, and I was still kind of like, I don't know about this. So, um, we had one person says Roy. He was one of our guests before. Him and his wife. He said the FDA also allows bugs, hair, and certain amounts of rodent feces in our food. So them giving approval doesn't make me feel any more at ease about the vaccinations. I definitely thought about that.
Yeah, I thought about it, but then I also thought about, okay, so those things are in it. Who's died from that?
I guess the fact that we know is rodent feces in our like hamburger helper just for some people it's just disgusting, and it should be the fact that it's feces, but everybody else is like, well, it ain't killed me. I'm gonna just tear up this hamburger helper.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy because so you get it approved, and so all the questions that you had, like why wasn't it approved? Why did they allow what was the lady saying? Why did they allow people to get the shot before it was approved? And so it's approved now. What's the difference between then and now?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question, because then, and it's funny because when I read over the consent form, that clearly states that at that time it was not FDA approved, and my mindset then was like, well, I might be a little bit more comfortable that it's not, because FDA approves like crap.
Exactly, that's what
so
I'm saying.
I was like, well, it's not approved, so I might be okay, but then again, it's new, I don't know. So
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Someone else commented and said, Dakota, no FDA approval means nothing to me. Half the crap in this country that's bad for us is FDA approved, yet natural medicines are bad, so we should just take prescriptions. I probably won't be getting the third shot because of this point. We're going to be on shot 8 by Christmas. I definitely think it's going to be a repeat.
The thing is, we've been saying these things over and over again, but
and it's all just coming to life.
And I guess, when you know the system, you know how it's gonna be.
Yeah. A lot of other people just said no, they don't feel more comfortable. I guess I should have asked if they feel less comfortable. Like maybe some people feel, oh, it's FDA approved, I'm definitely not getting it now.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah, it could. So I don't know. And then they're saying the third shot is for severely immunocompromised populations, like those
like us.
Yeah, I want to know how severe though, because some of the stuff I read was like if you had organ transplant. I'm assuming if you're doing like radiation or chemotherapy,
yeah, like cancer treatments and stuff like that. Yeah,
like how severe we talking? Like mildly severe or severe? Like I gotta know these things, because right now I don't feel comfortable getting the third shot. I'll probably push that off as long as I can.
I don't know. With everything that I went through these past 2 months, I might just
get it.
And that's so crazy, because we're like living a parallel existence.
Right. I really wanted to, before the show, see how they operated with the flu pandemic. And even when we had swine flu and Ebola and all this other things, that the only thing you really still hear about is the flu. You don't really hear about swine flu. You don't hear about Ebola, and you don't hear about those anymore. They just kind of dissipated. So then you got the people who are like, yeah, they made COVID in the lab, and it's just, the conspiracy theorists and their beliefs on.
And the conspiracy theorists are gonna exist, period, forever.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what the topic is, there's always gonna be somebody who thinks there's some bigger thing at work, that some unknown pattern.
Some scientists in the lab. Evil scientists in the lab.
Evil geniuses.
Right. So yeah, and since this all started, now we're on the Delta variant, that is supposed to be more contagious, and people who are impacted by the Delta variant have more severe issues from it, especially if they're not vaccinated.
Right. And speaking with one of my doctors, when I was getting out of the hospital, he was like, are you vaccinated? Is your kid vaccinated? Because it's taking kids out. Like, those were his words. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've been so unplugged.
I think everybody's just on edge. I think everybody, by the time this is all over, everybody's going to need some Xanax, because
yes,
because it's just in such an unstable place that we are in as a whole, not just personally, but as a whole. We're in a very unstable place. And
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Those of us with pre-existing conditions, of course, the anxiety is worse, the fear is worse, because we can't stay closed off. At one point, I was really even scared to go to my doctor's office.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still scared to go to the hospital. But what do we do? Give us a call and tell us what you guys think. 470-251-4647. That's 470-251-4647. And just to clear up about the vaccination, because I've heard people say, well, you can still get it. Yes, you can still get it. However, the symptoms won't be as severe in some people. That is not everybody.
I mean, it's not everybody. It's not.
Yeah.
But the percentage of people that it helps versus the percentage of people that it doesn't, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And when you look at, okay, this population, this size of the population didn't do it.
Right.
Now, what percentage of that population is severely ill?
Right. Right.
And where does that fall on the scale? Like, where are you good with loss of life? At what number? Right.
Because honestly, with any number, if you gone, you gone. It doesn't matter how severe. If it's bad, it's bad, and you don't know. Like with some things, we kind of know what we're getting into, having sickle cell and how bad things would be, and we both have been through things that we thought would have taken us out. But I think typically healthy people are oblivious to a lot of things that they can be impacted by, even being super healthy,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So it's
like we're overly cautious about like everything.
Yeah.
And we live our life in a very orchestrated way.
Very orchestrated, yes.
So like when we're pulled out of that position of what we orchestrated for our day, for the week, what have you, that can really be detrimental to us.
It can. And then also, people have gotten relaxed with the mask, and probably even with the sanitizing and cleaning, because they're vaccinated, which I would not agree with because, like we mentioned, you can still get COVID even being vaccinated. So I've still been wearing my mask. I still keep hand sanitizer in my purse, in the car, everywhere. Because um, we're not excluded just because we're vaccinated. Um, and then this Lambda variant is supposed to be making its way to
How many
us.
Greek letters are there?
I have no idea, but I really hope that we don't go down the. I really hope we don't experience any more of the Greek alphabet. Let's stop at Lambda. But I saw two different articles that spoke on this. One said that Lambda was more contagious and may have more come with more severe issues than the Delta. And then I also saw one that said the World Health Organization and CDC is not naming Lambda variant as one of concern. So, like, reading both of those don't make me feel any more comfortable with the new variant coming out. New releases. The new variant just dropped. Say that again.
The new variant just dropped.
The new variant just dropped.
But it's not as serious.
Supposed to be. I don't think nobody really knows, to be honest. I don't want that either, though. I don't want to experiment. I don't want to find out. I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, like I said, I hope we don't, as much as I hope we don't experience any more variations of it, I think it will continue to mutate into.
Because that's what viruses do.
Right.
They virus.
One article I read says that Lambda variant may be resistant to vaccines. So even if it's not Lambda and another variant comes out that's resistant to the vaccines, once again, we'll probably have to get vaccinated yearly. Every 6 months or so. So yeah,
with all this bad news, because that stinks.
Yes.
That's like, let's find something more positive. Let's find something uplifting. What can we look forward to for after this whole pandemic is over?
What can we look at while we're dealing with it? Because for me, we don't know when it'll be over. And it's hard to make plans with the unknown date in the future. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So it's like, how do we cope with it so we don't lose our freaking minds in lockdown and anxiety? How do we cope with it now until it's over?
I think you have to find whatever brings you the most joy. That's reading books, painting, singing, dancing,
whatever. And it doesn't have to cost you money. You can do things at home really without even leaving the house that can address your mental health and just put you in a state of peace and calm. So I would definitely suggest, like Jennifer said, looking into some things that bring you joy and that kind of just takes you out of the COVID bubble for a while. Definitely implement a lot of self-care because it's been so much. I think some people have gone back to work, people have gone back to school. How hard of a decision was it for you when deciding to send or not to send your kid to school?
That was really difficult because I'm like, okay, he didn't do as well as I would have liked for him to do in school. And I think my kid needs social interaction. But also, I've been really sick this year.
Yeah.
And if I send him to school and he catches it, could that be the end for me?
Yeah. And that's a scary thought.
Terrifying. But ultimately, I just had to think, like, what's best for him.
Yeah. And do you feel comfortable with the measures they're taking at the school?
He said everyone is masked at school and no one takes their mask off.
Good.
If he calls and says, hey, the bus is late, that means that I know they're picking up more kids and his bus is going to be full.
Okay.
So I'll take him to school.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, beyond that, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else that can be done.
Yeah.
Even in, like, the band, which he hasn't gone to band, but if he were to go, they're, spaced out, socially distanced, and they only practice in small groups.
Good. That's good. That's really good. I'm glad they decided to open up those extracurricular activities because the kids need an outlet too,
Yeah.
So that's really good. Devin, she didn't do better or worse virtually than she did in person. So that helped kind of make the decision to keep her virtual easier for us. Aside from COVID, there's other issues that kind of get in the way. But it definitely helped because I just did not trust and do not trust that all the kids in this high school or really in anybody's high school will really like implement the
social distancing and all the protocols and stuff. Yeah.
I just did not feel comfortable with it because I see grown people in the store or saw grown people in the store not doing it. So I just felt like a whole bunch of teenagers negative.
Yeah,
So,
I honestly thought the same thing.
Yeah. And how are they like in the classrooms? Is it limited amount of kids in the classrooms now?
I don't know for the other grades, but I know Dominic has small classes.
Okay, good.
And then he's out of school like 1:15.
Okay.
Even though he's supposed to be out at like 2:30 or whatever, he's out earlier.
Okay.
So his day is shorter.
That's good. So yeah, between the schools and just us operating at back to normal capacity, we just have to be even more vigilant in our precautions. That's all we can really do. Do you have some things that now you will be resting now that you're home from the hospital? Do you have some things in mind already that you want to do to kind of just detox and be in your bubble?
Just go back to writing, I think. Get back to journaling and trying to manifest my life.
I hear it. I hear it.
Because my son's he's leaving. He's starting his own life.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to manifest for myself a life.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I really had hopes of like just traveling the world when they graduate, and technically that's still a dream, but it's still like, I don't know now because we dealing with COVID, so I don't know. We got to pay attention to the regulations everywhere else, but that will put us at in a different mindset.
Yeah,
it's like, all right,
we
you're
can
old
finally live.
Right. It's gonna take us a minute to adjust, but I think it'll be very exciting, just to see them get through their senior year and enjoy their senior year and like really step into adulthood.
Yeah, become the people who that they're meant to be.
Right.
And know that like we help do that.
I think that's the best part. I did that. We did that. So yeah.
And not just ours, like, but we touched others.
Yeah. Absolutely. Someone else commented on the question about if, with the FDA approving Pfizer vaccine, would you feel more comfortable? Christy says, having lost multiple family members, I get my third one today if I could. I expect to get different responses.
Yeah. Because like we said, for some people that one is too much.
Yeah.
And some people one is nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I think we fall into that one is too much category.
Yeah. So yeah, and do you feel like when the vaccines finally started to become available, do you feel like people who don't really have a lot of medical issues were like quick to jump to it versus people like us with sickle cell who know some ins and outs about stuff and that were hesitant because of what we know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like all of our cumulative experiences make us wary of the situation.
Yeah. Did you notice that comparison when the vaccine became available?
Yeah.
I did too. I definitely saw a good from the chunk of people who was like, I want it and I want it now. Then there's still people who probably should get it who are just like, nah, I'm gonna take my chances.
Yeah.
So,
and for some reason, that doesn't bother me as much.
With the comparison,
yeah,
I just noticed it, but it's not like a big thing. And you mentioned something about pandemic sex. So what did you read? What did you hear about this pandemic sex?
Well, people have been unsafe.
Oh gosh.
There have been higher rates of STDs. And it's primarily because they've repressed themselves throughout the whole COVID situation, that when they get out there, they just go wild.
Oh wow.
That is literally what the doctor said.
Oh wow. And I can completely see that, and that's why I responded like, so that they, of course, everybody's on lockdown, and I'm sure that was stressful for a lot of people. So as soon as they got the chance to relieve some of that stress through that particular
They made poor decisions.
They just went
wild.
They went ham, clearly.
They went wild. And that's crazy because I was like, I just know people are being super safe. Because you better wear your mask. But, dog, I was...
But don't wear a condom.
What?
Those are probably the same ones that weren't wearing masks. But they probably weren't. I'm good. That's awful. So it's like your dude or your girl goes off somewhere, and not only did they bring you back a STD, but they brought you COVID too. Like,
What?
that's a hot mess.
Oh my gosh.
Stay safe in all ways, y'all.
I was like, that's the most backwards thing I have heard in a while. Like, oh, you gotta sanitize, gotta wear a mask, gotta stay 6 feet apart, but we're gonna do this unprotected.
Right. That's all bad, and more than likely, I think cheating went up too. It was probably like the same steady thing for a minute. It was like, okay, everybody stay in the house. You can't sneak out. You can't go nowhere.
Right.
You work. You going to work? Okay, go to the living room.
Right.
So it was none of that. But I'm pretty sure once we were free again, that that got worse too. I didn't read that officially. That's just something
That's just our opinion.
Yeah.
But the other stuff was official.
That's crazy. But so yeah, it has been a major adjustment. And like we stated, it's a matter of finding what works for you. I've definitely found some positive things out of COVID and everything being on lockdown. And if you looked for the positive, you found it. But some people were just like too stressed and too overwhelmed to really see that side. But I felt like the lockdown definitely gave us a chance to sit with ourselves and reflect. Some people increase their spiritual connection, especially when you have your services online, and people were able to take more advantage of that. I think my favorite transition, which was there before COVID, but I didn't really use it, but I love curbside pickup. Now I don't want to go in anybody's grocery store, and it's not just because of the germs, but it saves a lot of time and energy. Because usually if I go to the grocery store, my legs are hurting by the time I'm done. And who's going home putting up anything, prepping anything, or cooking anything?
Exactly.
So with curbside pickup, I still have that energy to go home, put up the groceries, and even cook if I wanted to. So I think that was a really good thing that I got from COVID, from this pandemic. What about you?
Yeah, I think it was definitely just to appreciate every day more.
Yeah, absolutely. And to find, maybe for some people, it was to find those things that bring them joy and find themselves or just whatever. But it definitely gave us an opportunity for that. I think it's so funny because years ago, before I left where I was working, I tried to ask for remote work, and they were just so against it. We don't have any positions for that. Da, 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 da. And I just found it funny that, like, for a good chunk, for a while, everybody was remote.
Exactly.
So I was just a little bit ahead of the game and not really thinking about or knowing about COVID. I just wanted to work from home. I feel more productive at home. I can still work, but just get things done. There's no distractions. If you're at work, you up talking to some of your coworkers or just goofing off.
Yeah.
But I think with remote work, it allowed freedom, a little bit of time freedom, and you shouldn't have had to worry about being micromanaged.
Right, exactly.
So I hope that really worked for some people. I know some people were actually sad to go back in the office. So, but I really love the work from home option. So that's awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about this? Where we are with COVID?
I think we've covered everything about where we are, but we always always have to thank our sponsors.
Time to, oh, yes. And before we get to our sponsors, there is the 8th annual convention this week. There is a ton of great activities for the entire family. We have something for the kids. We have healthy cooking. We have game night. They're doing like a murder mystery. Everything is virtual. So you guys don't have to worry about, going anywhere, mask and all that. Everything is virtual. You can still register. And if you are a patient or caregiver, your registration is free. Just inbox me for the scholarship code. And I have no problem letting you know what the scholarship code is so you can take advantage of the Warrior Convention. They have the young adult. Oh, the Wednesday is the regional hub. So that's a networking, so you can see what organizations and what other people are in your area. We are in Region 3, so we will be joining the Be Strong group out of South Carolina. We have some fun activities. We're going to get to meet you guys, and we're going to teach you or let you hear some of the things that we offer. And we have this nice DJ and a caricature coming to have some fun with us. Then one of the events, we are hosting the young adult track. I'm super excited about this. We have, we'll be doing the vision boards on Thursday. This is for ages 15 to 22. So we have the vision boards Thursday. Friday is financial literacy. And Saturday is self-advocacy and boundaries. So if you are between the ages of 15 to 22, definitely sign up for the young adult track. But like I said, there's tons of tracks. Also, we're doing the paint and chat. So that's Friday from 6 to 8. We're doing paint and chat. It's a relaxing event, so bring your juice, your wine, whatever it is that makes you feel calm. Put your music on, get your paint and brushes. It is too late to sign up to get the paint kit for $20. However, you can go to like Dollar Tree, get some canvases, paint, and brushes. You can still come in to the class and go from there. So make sure you guys register. It's always a lot of fun. I always feel empowered and have like notebooks full of new ideas when I leave. So I can't wait to get back to seeing everybody in person because it's amazing. And we cannot forget our save the date for September 25th. How I forget it that fast.
Our open mic.
Our 5th annual open mic. This is year number 5. I was going through our old pictures just of everything we've done since we like officially started this. We've done a lot of stuff.
Really?
We've done a lot of dope stuff, from Hurricane Harvey, the hurricane relief thing.
Yeah, you're right.
You remember that? We did, we had a family day at Centennial once. We've been doing a lot of stuff. We did the bowling alley with Bowlets for Sickle Cell when we went to the 90s thing. So yes, we've been doing this for a long time. Advocacy Day is
so
always.
wild because I didn't even like.
You don't realize it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you the pictures somehow because it's a lot of pictures. So please come out and celebrate with us for our 5th annual open mic. We will have virtual performances as well as live performances. So make sure to stay tuned to see how you can purchase your tickets and see how you can sign up to perform at our 5th annual open mic. Again, that's September 25th from 7 to 10. So mark your calendars because it's going to be dope. So anything else, Jennifer?
No, that's it.
All right. So thank you guys for coming and joining us today. We really, really appreciate you guys. I want to thank our sponsor, Mr. Dan Moore in the Apex Museum. He is now open. Make sure you guys go and see him in the Apex Museum. Huh?
Said I know I will.
Right. I want to thank Kids Stop Daycare and Learning Center with Miss Tanya Robinson. And also the Black Professional, I just blanked.
Network.
Say it again.
The Black Professionals Network. Thank
Black
you guys.
Yes.
We appreciate all you've done for us.
Yes. So, all right. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Good night.